Yes, boys and girls, a very warm welcome to the historic quadrant here at Edinburgh University for the announcement of the Scotland squad for Rugby World Cup 2015. In a moment, we will find out exactly who has made that 31-man squad. But first, I am delighted to be joined by the man that captained Scotland in New Zealand at the Rugby World Cup there in 2011, and of course who enjoyed great success with Glasgow Warriors very recently with the Pro 12 Championship. Al, great to have you here. I suppose you will know very well how these boys are feeling.
Yeah, absolutely. There'll be a great deal of excitement. Obviously, the boys will have known for the last day or so who's going to be going to the World Cup, but for many of them it won't seem real yet until it's announced to the world, until everybody knows. That's when it'll start sinking in for especially some of the less experienced guys.
So even on the bus right now, as they're pulling up, they will be still questioning whether or not they are actually going to the World Cup.
It's a very strange feeling in that you know, and you obviously all the rest of the players, the coaching staff know, but it's a secret to everybody else. I remember standing 4 years ago at the museum and behind, not dissimilar to after today, still wondering if I was definitely selected until you hear your name read out.
And back then, 2011, you travelled a long way to New Zealand. We've got a very different World Cup here. This time we're a bit closer to home. What difference will it make if the fans turn out for Scotland?
It's a huge advantage for Scotland. The fact that it's an hour down the road for some people, not far at all to travel and support the boys. It will make a massive difference. It'll be like playing a home game, and a home international brings all sorts of advantages for the players on the park.
Today's announcement comes on the back of what has been a very gruelling at times build-up to it for the boys. They were high-altitude training in the Pyrenees, then they were having camps where they're doing gruelling fitness sessions, a lot of skill work, and then match practice. Quite an exhausting time for them.
It's an incredibly intense period from way back, just at the end of the season, probably a week to 10 days off and then into camp. The thing about World Cup training, about any pre-season, is that every team is looking for that edge. Every team is trying to find what will make the difference when the games start. And I know that for a fact the training that the guys have done has got them into the best possible physical condition. And we've also seen rugby-wise, they're in a great place in the last 3 games. But what's really important as well is the mental aspect of the game and how they go into the World Cup. And the first 3 games have been great. We need to carry that on when they go over to France so that we start with a real bang at the beginning of the World Cup.
It's an interesting one, the France trip, because they will by this stage know that they are in the squad, so that pressure's off in that regard. But what, from Vern's perspective, he won't be wanting to do too much by way of experimentation, surely?
No, I would imagine from Vern's point of view and from the rest of the coaching team, as well as the players, it's about taking another step forward. It's about making sure that when they leave Paris on Saturday night that they are one step closer to being as good as we possibly can be at the World Cup. And we've already seen that in the games that have happened so far. We've already seen that in the training the players have put in, but it's about that final dotting of the I.
And when we look at the opposition that they will face, we have Japan, USA, South Africa, Samoa, in that order. What do you reckon for Scotland? It's a tough pool. It's
a very tough pool. I mean, you look at the spread of teams, and I think the highest ranked team in the world rankings is 16. It's going to be tough games. There's no doubt about that. But that's really, in every single World Cup game now, there's no longer the perceived minnows. There's teams who will compete and compete well for 80 minutes, and Scotland will have to be at their very best to win every game.
Well, at the weekend they were certainly at their very best. What a demolition of Italy, and what a way to round off that part of the pre-season campaign. So a great performance for Italy at the weekend. That's how it's done, really, isn't it?
No, absolutely. What I said earlier about taking that step forward, you could see in the Italy game all the things that we've been looking for the last 7-8 games, the steps forward when we get into the 22 to be able to turn the pressure into points. We saw that at the weekend, and I saw Vern Cotter's interview afterwards. He was obviously keeping his cards very close to his chest, but I would imagine as a squad, as a coaching team, they were delighted with what went on at the weekend.
Also, although it was initially a defeat in the opener against Ireland, it was a narrow defeat. It wasn't a performance to be disappointed about.
I believe that there's huge positives from every single game, and you look back to that Ireland game and the fact that there's been kind of 15, 16 changes each time a squad's been named. It shows the strength and depth. It shows that whatever squad gets named today is going to be incredibly strong to go down to that World Cup. That Ireland game, to go over and to compete and to finish a game as strongly as we did, should be very pleasing. And the same is true for the Italy game when we went over to Turin. The fact that Scotland were strong in the last 20 minutes shows all the fitness staff exactly what the hard work is doing.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that moment has finally arrived. I have been informed that the Scotland squad is in fact parked in the bus outside, and I can tell you that now is the moment, now is the hour when they and we will finally find out exactly who has made Vern Cotter's 31-man squad. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your national head coach, Mr. Vern Cotter.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to be here. I'd just like to announce 31 players that were selected for this year's Rugby World Cup. From scrum half, Greg Laidlaw, Gloucester, 40 caps, will be captain. Sam Hidalgo Klein, Edinburgh, 7 caps. Henry Purgos, Glasgow Warriors, 16 caps. Standoff, Finn Russell, Glasgow Warriors, 10 caps. Duncan Weir, Glasgow Warriors, 19 caps. The centres, Mark Bennett, Glasgow, 8 caps. Peter Horn, Glasgow Warriors, 10 caps. Matt Scott, Edinburgh Rugby, 28 caps. Richie Vernon, Glasgow Warriors, 22 caps. The wings, Sean Lamont, Glasgow, 96 caps. Sean Maitland, London Irish, 15 caps. Tommy Seymour, Glasgow, 17 caps. Tim Visser, Harlequins, 20 caps. Fullback, Stuart Hogg, Glasgow, 33 caps. The forwards, the front row props, Alistair Dickinson, Edinburgh, 46 caps. Ryan Grant, Glasgow Warriors, 23 caps. Gordon Reid, Glasgow Warriors, 11 caps. William Nell, Edinburgh, 2 caps. John Welsh, Newcastle Falcons, 6 caps. Hookers, Fraser Brown, Glasgow, 9 caps. Ross Ford, Edinburgh Rugby, 88 caps. Stuart McAnally, Edinburgh, 2 caps. The second row, Grant Gilchrist, Edinburgh, 10 caps. Johnny Gray, Glasgow, 14 caps. Richard Gray, Cast, 45 caps. Tim Swinson, Glasgow, 12 caps. Our back row to finish, David Denton, Edinburgh, 27 caps. John Hardy, 1 cap. Josh Strauss, Glasgow, uncapped. Alistair Strokoch, Perpignan, 45 caps. Ryan Wilson, Glasgow Warriors, 10 caps. And there's the 31.
Ladies and gentlemen, your Rugby World Cup 2015 squad for Scotland. Vern, if I could ask you to come down and have a very brief chat with me now. So we have 31 reasons to be excited about this World Cup, and they're standing right behind us there. What excites you most about the squad you've selected?
Well, it's a good balance of strength, power, experience. There's some good athletes and some people have worked very, very hard to get there, and I know that they can't wait to get started. We're only a couple of weeks away now. I've got one more game against France as a preparation to prepare for it, and then we'll be on our way.
And of course a slight disappointment for those that didn't make it, but an indication perhaps of the depth of squad that you have now.
Yeah, it's tough. We spent 2 months together, and but we knew right from the start it was 46 and we had to make that 31. It wasn't easy because of the way it is, the nature it is. You spend time with these people, you have shared experience, and then have to say, well, that stops here. It is tough, but we did it with respect their effort, and they've helped this group here move forward and prepare themselves, and they'll always be part of it.
Vern Cotter, we wish you the very, very best of luck. You have the nation behind you. All the best with that as well. Thank you very much. And there is, of course, one other man that we definitely need to speak to today. If we're looking along the line, we have a few familiar faces here, gentlemen that were, of course, in New Zealand in 2011. And we are delighted now to speak to our captain, Mr. Greg Laidlaw. Now, Greg, how on earth did you feel when you got the call?
Yeah, I was obviously delighted. It's been a long time coming, and as Vern said, a lot of hard work's went in it, and I think we're starting to come good at the right time. We had a good result there at the weekend and the weekend before, but on the captaincy thing, it's a huge honour for me, and it's one I take very seriously, and I'm delighted.
Greg, you came so close in 2011, and this time not only have you made the squad, you're also leading the squad. What a difference in 4 years.
Yeah, it's been a long 4 years in a sense, but I'm just delighted to be here. You can only focus on the present, and I'll do that now. And I'm delighted to be named as leader of this group, and I think this group can do something special going forward. And
of course, you'll have been involved in the build-up to this point in time as well. So, as a team, as a unit, how have you all bonded together?
Yeah, it's been good. And again, we said it, we've spent a lot of time together, and the fact that we had the sort of extended period of time under Verne, I think you can see the improvements we've made. Starting off down in France, working hard together up in the mountains, and then finishing off last week in St Andrews. So one big game to go this weekend against France. If we can go well there, we'll take real momentum into the World Cup.
Well, very best of luck to you. As I say, Scotland is very much behind these guys. Now, one man who is very well aware of a World Cup, who is featured in not one, not two, not three, but 4 of them, is, of course, Mr. Chris Paterson. He is in the crowd somewhere right now. And, Chris, you, this time around, are going to be watching on the edge of your seat like the rest of us.
Yeah, absolutely, Caroline. Thoroughly looking forward to it. And it's days like this that are really special. As a player, but also as supporters, and we're delighted to be joined by Darryl. He plays for Glenrothes, and we're going to get some supporters' opinion on the squad. Are you excited by what you see up here?
Yeah, it's fantastic. The team looks really good, and we're looking forward to seeing them go out at the World Cup. Can't wait.
And how do you think the guys will go? Three big games to start with: Japan, USA, Samoa, and obviously South Africa as well, rounding off the 4. So, how do you think the players will fare there?
I think looking at the last few friendlies we played, they've really come into form. So going to the World Cup, it's a great place to be.
Will you be able to get down to any of the games?
I won't unfortunately be able to travel down, but we'll be watching on TV, and we can't wait.
That's great. We're watching on TV, as will I, and as will hopefully all you guys. Thoroughly looking forward to it. I'd just like to congratulate all the players, the full 30-man, and wish them the best of luck, as well as the coaching staff. Good luck from us in the crowd.
Well, thank you very much indeed, Chris. Now, to the 31 men standing with me here just now, to the coaches, to the backroom staff as well, we, the nation, wish Scotland the very best of luck at Rugby World Cup 2015. Now, don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, you can follow the team every step of the way for the duration of the championship as you log on to the scotlandteam.com. There you will also be able to watch a nightly show at 8:15, as I say, for the duration of Rugby World Cup 2015. So, that's it. We now know who will feature. We wish them all the very best of luck. And until then, on behalf of everyone at Scottish Rugby, we'll see you at the World Cup.